today I'm doing Galumpkis. That's what we used to call them. Technically it's stuffed cabbage. I made a mixture of meat with my ground beef, my 80-20 beef, and I mixed it the same way I do for like meatballs and for the stuffed olives that I made the last video. And what you do is you add rice to it. So I use this boil and bag rice. These are fabulous. And it comes like this in a bag, and it's you just take the whole bag and drop it into water, and you bring it up to a boil, and it boils for about 8 to 10 minutes. It's fabulous. Quick and easy. So I put that in my mixture, and I'll show you what it looks like. I believe the reason for the rice is to help to stretch the meat so that you have, you know, enough to go around with all the cabbage. So I do have, these are all the spices I used. I'm going to get these out of the way. It's breadcrumb, onion powder, garlic powder, and parsley. So I have my roasting pan here. It's not the biggest one. It's okay though. We're going to stack them on top of each other. And what I do is, again, I'm using a little bit of jarred sauce. You can use tomato soup. People do that too. I happen to have this here, so this is what I'm using. And I put some in the bottom of the pan. You don't have to put a whole lot. And I move it around so that it covers the pan. And then the other thing I do is, I call them the ugly leaves. These are the leaves that are on the very outside of the cabbage. And they're really too hard for you to eat them. So I take these after they're thoroughly cleaned. You will have to wash them. Cabbage grows in the ground. It's going to be dirty. So what I do is I like kind of splay them out, and I lay them in the bottom so that we can lay the stuffed cabbage on top. That way they don't stick to the bottom of the pan, and this provides a bed so that it keeps them moist. So these leaves are not edible. You're not going to eat them. You're going to leave them in the bottom. And I'm cutting this really hard vein out so that they lay a little flatter. All cabbage leaves have a very tough, fibrous vein right here in the middle. The way I did my lasagna noodles, when I just made them pliable, you don't want to cook them all the way through. You just want to make the cabbage leaves pliable. It's exactly what you do with the noodles for the lasagna. And I'm going to show you. This is what the pan looks like with the, I call them the ugly leaves. They're down in the bottom. They're the bed for the cabbage to lay on. In order to get this core out, it's a very hard core. I'm going to show you how to do that. You want to take a very sharp, pointy knife, not a bread knife or anything like that, and you want to go down. Takes a little practice, and you got to be careful because once it gets in there, it wants to stay. So you go around the core with this sharp knife. And it may take a few tries going all the way around, but eventually it's going to get loose and it's going to come out. So once you run the knife all the way around, you're going to go down pretty deep. It's going to come out like this, and it's going to look like this on the inside. It is not like lettuce. You can get a head of lettuce and you can turn it this way and you can bang it and it loosens it and you just take it out. The cabbage is a lot tougher, so you have to use a knife to do that. So once you get some of the leaves pliable, I keep turning the head on the inside of the hot water. It's not boiling, just hot. And I keep turning them. And then you can pry them away from each other. Oh, that one's going to give me a hard time. There we go. And then I have some here that are already cooled off, and I'm going to show you how we prepare it for the meat. I told you about that really tough vein that runs down the center of the cabbage. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paring knife and I'm going to, it's almost like filleting. You're going to pull off the tough part of the cabbage. And And that makes it so that when you stuff it with the meat, it can still roll. So what I do is I take about maybe a meatball size of the meat mixture, and I put it in the center there. And then I take the side and I bring it up. It's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be totally covered. Don't stress yourself over it. And then you're going to roll it. So I'm repeating the process again, putting the meat in the center of the cabbage. And you can eyeball it. If it doesn't look like it's enough for your taste, then add a little bit more. Or if it's too much, take some out. So again, we're folding the leaves over on each other like that, and then we're rolling. And then we're putting it seam side down in the pan. And you're going to keep doing that all the way around the bottom, and then you're going to stack them up. So we're down to the very small leaves on the cabbage. I'm going to put this last one in there, and then I'm going to show you what I do from there. And by the way, all these this little head, and I have another little head remaining in here, I'm going to fry that up. It's delicious, fried cabbage. So we got them all in the pot. See them there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add more sauce over top. And the cabbage is going to release liquid, so it's going to make the sauce thinner, so you don't have to really worry about thinning it out. And then I'm taking these ugly leaves again, and I'm laying them on top. Again, what that does is it keeps the rolls moist and keeps them from burning. And we don't eat these. Again, we throw those out when it's all done. I take those leaves and just toss them. So we're putting this in a 350-degree oven, and because they're pretty thick, the meat, you want to make sure you cook it for a while. I think it takes that's going to take probably about 2 to 3 hours. And what you can do is you can check on it, take one out, cut it open, see if the meat's all cooked. If it's cooked, you're good. Then you can stop cooking it. But it's all a matter of, you always have to double check. If you want to see more of my videos, go to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, and also the notification bell. So I took the pan out, and I'm checking on them. I took a small one out, and that one is done. The bigger ones I'm going to put back in the oven. I'm going to leave them in for maybe another half hour. But this is what it looks inside. So I'm going to cut it. It's pretty hot. I'm hoping I can put it in my mouth. Delicious. Even though it's Polish, manja. Make sure that you hit the like button and the notification button so that you can be tuned in to all my updates